Alright, starting with lesson 6.1, we'll be learning about law of sines in this lesson. And law of sines is applied when you're working with oblique triangles, or triangles that do not have a right angle. So here's the law of sines. Alright, now notice that there are three expressions. Now depending on the situation that you're working with, you will use two of those expressions at a time. Alright, not all three. Or I could go like this. Okay. And there's two cases where you will apply the law of sines. When you're given two angles in any side, or two sides and an angle opposite of one of them. So for example 1, we have triangle ABC. ABC. Okay, you don't have to be accurate with the triangle, but you just need a diagram so you have an idea of where you're going. Alright, so angle A is 30 degrees, B is 45 degrees, and A, lowercase a is opposite of angle A, so that's 32 there. Alright, so that's your A. And then across from uppercase B is lowercase b, and across from uppercase C is lowercase c. Okay, so here we have two angles, and we have a side opposite of one of them. So let's apply the law of sines. We're going to use the side length, 32, over sine of the angle opposite to it, which is 30 degrees. And that's equal to, well, I'm going to figure out B, because I have angle B. So I'm going to figure out length B over sine of 45 degrees. All right, that's the application of the law of sines right there. Okay, so now we just have to simply isolate B. So I'm going to cross multiply, and I get B times sine of 30 degrees is equal to 32 sine of 45 degrees. All right, then I just divide by sine of 30. And I get B is equal to 45.25. In this case, it'll be feet. And the problem is asking us to solve the triangle, meaning find all the missing parts. So how do you find angle C? We'll just subtract the other two angles from 180, and you have the third angle, which is 105 degrees. Now we're going to figure out the third side length. Okay, so I'm going to use the side length that I know, or that I started with, 32 over sine of 30 degrees is equal to, and then I have C over the sine of 105 degrees. Alright, so same thing as before, we just cross multiply, or you could just multiply in this case by sine of 105. Your choice how you want to do it. Alright, so we have C is equal to 61.82, and that'll be feet. Done. Alright, on to the next example. Alright, because of prevailing winds, a tree grew so that it was leaning 6 degrees from the vertical. Okay, so here we have a tree leaning. Here's my tree. It's leaning 6 degrees from the vertical. Okay, and at a point 30 meters from the tree, the angle of elevation to the top of the tree is 22.5. Alright, so here we are at a point 30 meters away from the tree, and the angle of elevation to the top of the tree is 22.5. Alright, so here we have 22.5. Okay, and now it says the tree is leaning away from this point. Okay, so that's how we knew to set up this triangle here. Find the tree height. Okay, so I need to find h, the height. Okay, let's see what I do here. Well, this is vertical line, so that's 90 degrees, which makes this whole thing here 96 degrees. Okay. And in order to find this third angle here, I'll just take 180. I'll subtract 96 and 22.5, which gives me 61.5. Okay. So it's 61.5. And let's see, what's next here? Okay, I gotta find... Okay, I have this side. I have the angle across from it. So applying law of sines, we have 30 over sine of 61.5 is equal to h over sine of 22.5. Alrighty, so now I multiply by sine of 22.5 on both sides. Okay, and I can get h, which is 13.06 meters. Okay, so pretty simple stuff once you get the hang of it. On to the next example. Example 3, solve for angle B. Okay, so here we'll just cross multiply. I get 17 sine of B is equal to 8 sine of 48 degrees. Alright, now I divide by 17. And I get sine of B is equal to... if I work this out here, I get 0.349. Okay, you don't have to work it out right here, but I'm just first keeping things simple. I'm just getting what the approximate value is. And then now, here's the key question. I need to isolate this angle B. How do you do that? Now, whenever you want to figure out an angle measurement, what do you use? Inverse trig functions. All right, that's the whole purpose behind inverse trig functions, is to obtain the angle measurement. Okay, so I get measurement of angle B is equal to 20.43 degrees. Done with that. All right, and here's a little refresher. Convert 83 degrees in 20 minutes to decimal degree form. So 83 degrees, don't have to do anything there. That's going to be point. Now, what do you do with the 20 minutes? Recall that you take minutes and you divide it by 60 to get the equivalent decimal, which is 0.3. All right, and just a little reminder, if you're working with seconds, for example, seconds would look like this, like 16, all right, a little apostrophe. You would divide by 3,600 to get the equivalent decimal. All right, that's all there is to it. Begin the assignment at the bottom of the page. If you have any questions, please make sure to ask.